forgetting. Number 16, adding custom buttons today. Discord messages, Python. Maybe I should. Whatever, just let's get done with buttons. I don't want to deal with them anymore. I just want this to be done and over with. Right. Oh. Good morning. I'm really happy, even though it might not sound like it. I'm actually really happy. I slept like for a decent 7 hours at least, like 3 days in a row. So yeah, so well, for imagine for majority of people this doesn't sound anything special. Why does it say 56 minutes? I was live for an hour? I think it's either I spaced out for an hour almost, or yeah, that's wrong. Right, wrong. What you gonna do? Right. Oh, sleeping is good. Set up the channel info view. Buttons. Okay, today I should be done with buttons forever. I have handling done. All the hard parts are actually done. Now I need to implement the custom buttons, which are, we'll see. At least I don't anticipate it being all that difficult. Yesterday's stream was kind of complicated. Hey, Bun, the bunny cat. I remember you. I remember your name, but I think you watched me when I was streaming Minecraft. Well, when I was participating in the build competition, if I remember correctly. Or were you here when I started streaming my development endeavors? If you're wondering, this is the project I'm working on, the configuration bot. So it's a bot. It's a chat bot. Well, in essence, it's a chatbot, but it performs a vital function of letting you set up other bots. Oh, the database. Connect. Stop shouting. What's the password? That's correct, right? Yep. How are you doing? So early as well. Or are you from Canada or the US? From the Americas. Call it that way. Because here in Europe it's early morning. I just woke up like 20. Well, I woke up quite a while ago. I just got out of bed like 20 minutes ago. I woke up like almost an hour ago. And you know, the morning it's very it's very tempting to watch some videos while you're still laying in bed, watch something what's new in social media and so on. Well, actually I don't have any social media, I just watch YouTube. It's my it's my everything. It's my entertainment, my educational content, my social media, it's everything. Right. That doesn't sound healthy at all. I don't. Oh. So yeah, oh yeah, it's running. Should work now. If I message anything to it. Oh, get custom buttons is not implemented. Are you complaining about? Oh yeah, it's commented out. Yes. Okay, let's not call this just yet because it's not done. This is what I will be doing today. I still not really fully up. I barely started drinking my coffee. I shouldn't stream before I drink my coffee. An idea. So yeah, I have this. Well, the cool thing is that you can both, well, usually I'm rewriting old application, and usually you interact with it like this, but now you have buttons. So if you're a mobile user and it's, well, on mobile it is quite inconvenient to type in chat, in my opinion. It's a lot more fun and a lot easier if you can just, there are buttons you can just press and, well, I guess technically typing is also pressing buttons, but yeah, it's a little bit more involved and there are a lot more buttons. And since Discord lets you put buttons in messages, well, this seems like a very good opportunity to actually do them, well, implement them, so that's what I'm doing. Right, also rewriting spaghetti, my spaghetti bowl of a code that lives here. This is the dark place of the project, that's why it has rest X, so I wouldn't go there, unless if I go there, I really need something. I'm not sure. Well, if you're still here, you can let me know if you're interested in programming. Maybe I'm just, maybe you're just not into coding and don't find it interesting at all, which is fine. I'm not gonna judge you all that much, but that was a joke. What I'm doing here? Where's my menu? Yes, this, get custom buttons. So the custom buttons means that just not gray buttons. It's all the different, that's what it means in practice. So the buttons won't be gray and they will have a name. Yeah, yes, that's also important. Because all the buttons, you can argue all buttons are custom. I've been doing these streams for what, 2 weeks, more or less, something like 2 weeks. This kind of becoming a habit. I'm not sure. It's like, well, at the moment it feels like a grind, but like enjoyable grind. I'm happy I have it as a grind, but it's still a grind. Maybe that's why people say don't do work, don't. Well, I guess there are two schools of thought. One of them say make your hobby into a job, so you never work a day in your life, meaning that you enjoy your work as a hobby and you treat it like a hobby and so on, and it never feels like a job. But I think the other way around is the actually more correct, at least for me personally. Don't pick your job by the hobby you like, because when it will come, well, eventually it will become your job, and you know, job is about routine, grind, and so on. And it's not that easy to enjoy those things. You should enjoy the because it is the grind or something like that. Well, whatever. Programming is that for me. I like solving problems, but this problem is pretty much solved. I just need to put it on in code. But yeah, the solving was fun. I've done a lot of solving over the last week, so I guess it's about time I get into the actual grind of coding. Meaning that I don't really solve any big issues. I just do tasks. So one of them would be implementing custom buttons. I already added to this menu context data class custom buttons. How should I do this? Maybe I should provide it. I'm not really sure. Maybe I want to provide custom. All of the buttons will be provided as custom buttons each time. Doesn't matter which menu you're in. Because the original idea was the cancel button would be in all menus, like just like that. But maybe some of the menus, well, maybe I want cancel to do different things in different menus. That could be an option. Music is quite chill. I like it. Right. So in that case, there shouldn't be by default none. Should be required. And not what will the dictionary have. It will have two purposes. Purpose. Oh yeah, watch Patrick's show. Apparently it's a kid show. It definitely is. I wouldn't watch it again. But yeah. It looks like its target audience is kids of people who grew up watching SpongeBob. And now it's like a second generation of kid shows. SpongeBob, yeah, I guess it was a kid show. Still is. But yeah, Patrick's show is even younger kids. For even younger kids, like. I'm not sure. It is a very odd show. I just watched it because I watched quite a lot of SpongeBob growing up. So I find it quite interesting. So it's the substance is not really there. Like it's useless as a show. Like the well, okay, I'm not a reviewer, so of kid shows, that's for sure. Maybe eventually when I have my own kids, then I can start reviewing them. But now I'll just stick with Discord bots, or just Python programming in general. Coffee. Add buttons. So yeah, we'll add buttons, but now we will iterate over some buttons. Okay. So this is menu context, self. Let's see. If self context custom menu buttons is not done, meaning that something was set. Well, that something should be a dictionary. So for each item, we need both, but it will map to the method. Yeah. Coffee is good. Dictionary. So for actually I don't really need it, I just need the keys. For key in self context custom buttons keys. Very easy. And after this, well, with each key, well, the key is supposed to be very, well, dual purpose. Meaning that not only it maps to the, well, not only it will be used as an ID, it also will be used as a label for translating. Right. How should I do this? So the issue I'm realizing I have that I want some of the buttons, like button cancel, for example, I want to have them, the translation in global scope, like in names, like here in Hindi. And well, I guess this is not the best illustration. So yeah, I wanted to have it here, but now I'm implementing in a way where all the buttons will be custom to each menu, so they will be defined in each menu. So it's either I'm having to define cancel in each menu, or what? Yeah, I'm thinking of, or if there is an option to do it a different way. Well, it would be. I want to add added flexibility of being able to turn on and off cancel button in the menu. Guess it would be cool. The only issue is the translation. Get translation. Does get translation actually do anything special? Where is it? Let's look for show. Somewhere here. There it is. Get options title. Let's see. Wait, it's already translated? Get description. Let's try this one. Yeah, it also is translated. I translated. Doing initial code. No. Okay, so when I create the menu, I already translate it. Okay. Huh. I guess that's not really a problem. Well, okay, it works, so must be okay. But let's see what it actually does. It's helper here. Get translation does nothing. It just checks if it finds a translation, and if it doesn't, it just returns like the strike through version, the name. I should make a better version of get translation. That would make me, would save me time. Well, I think I would be able to get the best of all options. Let's see. Maybe I should just improve it. So it checks 2 sections for a name when I want to get a translation. Then I could use it for any button. So it doesn't matter where it's defined. if that works. So this helper method needs to be adjusted. Right. This is cool that I wrote it in such a fancy style, but so if section and this, so this is the actual check. So yeah, let's make it a little bit more readable. And return this, so this goes here. And into else, get this. Oh, this one's not aligned properly. Okay. I clicked by accident, you. Clicked you, why? Accident. English. Save changes, yes. Oh, I closed it, damn it. It's not what I meant. Where's my helper? It's here now. Right, so this is the same thing, but written in a slightly different way. So it's missing some characters. So it checks the section if the section exists that you're looking for, and else now I wanna have a fallback. Okay, so this means that custom names, like the names, well, this introduces one case, well, corner case or edge case, sure how to call it. One nuance that names used in this now names can be duplicated among these sections, no problem, because each menu has its own section. So if the menu, both menus have menu list title, menu title, name and list and title. Yes, this is whatever. Should be like if everyone has its own title, that's fine. But now if then it exists in this part and in the menu section, then they will conflict. It will be resolved to the menu first. Or should I use global scope first? No, I think I should use menu. That gives me an option to rename like a general button. That's really, that's quite sneaky. That's actually, I like it. That might not even be an odd behavior, an odd case. It's just it's a feature at this point because I foresee it happening. Even though if it happens by accident in the future and by all measures and by everyone's opinion, it will be a bug. It's a feature because I meant it to work like this. Mostly because I don't have a choice. Like, this is the best choice I can make in the given situation. So it doesn't really have much to do with purposeful design. But you know, a feature sounds a lot better. A misunderstood feature sounds a lot better than a bug. So let's have some misunderstood features instead. So here, if it doesn't find anything, if this doesn't exist, then I check if it exists in do I have a name for that section? Yeah, generic names. So do I have that class classifier? No, don't. From classes classifiers port generic. Oh, thing. And blah, and now it checks if the name I'm looking for exists in not in a specific language. Oh, it has to be in a specific language. It's not changing the language, changing the section. Right. So it's s generic names. And this is so much. It's so much superior to go using just magical strings. So in that case, it returns much like this, but instead of section, it has s generic name. This is the section. And if all else fails, then it returns the strike through name. So this doesn't break anything that was working previously, but now I can have declare a name, a common name, in names section. So if we have a lot of back buttons or save buttons, so they could be their translation would be mapped from this general section. So this is working out pretty good. Love it. Love when everything just works out. When there's a very easy, very very concise and nice solution, not like this. This is me being lazy. I can't be bothered to figure out something more elegant, but it works. What can you do? It's not too complicated, it's not too long. So you can figure it out by looking at it, reading through it. Like it takes like a minute to read through it, what that actually does. And it's not that I'm sure how to say. It's not that bad. It's not ideal, it's not perfect, but you know, serviceable. At least at this point, my level of tolerance for bad code is high enough to allow me to leave this in peace. I can do this, so I don't have to think about it. All the rest looks kind of normal, and that is the only one. Maybe I just don't like algorithms. This is like an algorithm. Right. So now I have a way to translate. So when button. So for each custom button, okay, now I need a piece of an algorithm as well, because one thing about custom buttons is there can only be 5. Like 5 fingers. So yeah, there can only be 5 buttons. It's just Discord's limitation. Let's see. Button. We need to count them. Is there... Okay, so let's... well, since now I have time, I can actually look for a way to improve this instead of having an index and just incrementing it over time, over each iteration. Also, I don't have any socks, which is very relevant, because my feet are cold. And I would prefer to have warm feet. I don't see my socks anywhere though. Oh. Right. Context, custom button, add button, blah blah blah. Pum pum pum. Pum pum. Just wanna chill. I don't even want to write code. But I I kind of want to be done with this so I can start moving towards implementing each menu, because that's gonna be the actual functionality, like the important part. Also, I need to get into habit and of making appropriate translations. What languages should I pick? Because I have Spanish, Portuguese. Portuguese is a little bit obscure in my opinion. Well, yeah, Brazilians speak Portuguese, so that makes sense. I have quite a lot of users from there. Chinese? There are quite a few Chinese players. I should probably investigate who pays money. Which country? I think PayPal provides me a tool where I can see from what country most of my payments come from. So over the whole time, I should have a significant number. So maybe based on that, I should implement additional languages just to cater to those users. Yeah, because, well, it would be a little bit, I don't want to say dumb, but dumb but extra stupid is like what would you call it? It's not my catchphrase, but it's like it's on brand for me. In my brand. Yeah, so implementing a fancy way to load translations and then not adding any new languages using that new mechanism would be kind of dumb, in my opinion. So let's not do that. Right. Well, coffee is done. I'm all coffeeed up. Let's increase the brightness on my screen because the sun is shining today. Oh, it's gonna be a cold day, that means, right? -3, wow. Damn, winter is definitely... and people were forecasting a very cold winter. If this is cold, like, we might... yeah. I guess the next... okay, let's look at it. This is very relevant, I swear. Oh, okay, it's not relevant. I'm lying. I think there's a page in Russian, but change to something else. But it's not phonetical? Okay. Oh, this is phonetical words. Oh. Yeah, it shows how much I know about Russian. I don't even know my Russian keyboard, where to find which letter. And isn't there a way to translate this to another language? Well, whatever, not important. Month. So let's look for the whole month. I guess it's gonna get cold at some point. Well, this is nighttime temperature, so daytimes. Well, it doesn't look like it's gonna get below, well, -8 in a week at the end of January, and it's, well, it's only a couple of days, I guess. Oh, it's end of this week, so this weekend it's gonna get colder. We get some snow, which is nice, and then it's just until for 2 more weeks. We'll have a mild weather-ish. Then it will get cold-ish. Gonna stay like this at -4, -5. Okay, that doesn't look all too bad. Right. When I'm using Russian website just because they have longer prediction. Because Lithuanian website doesn't really. I think it defaults to 2 weeks. I don't think you can look beyond 2 weeks. I should check. Oh, keyboard. Oh, this is wrong. Same thing. Yeah, this is the Lithuanian version. Let's see. Oh, this is the day. 7 days. If this does anything. Might be a little bit more accurate. Doesn't do anything. I guess this is the 7 days, so yeah, you can only monitor 1 week. Let's see. This is very exciting. Looking up weather. I don't. Okay, all I wanted to know if it's gonna get really cold or not, and it doesn't look like it's gonna. Like -10 during nighttime, it's fine. That's what you would expect it to be at least -10 during nighttime, like throughout the whole winter. Well, maybe starting from January to like end of February. That's what you usually have here, right? Pam 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 pam. Buttons. Context menu item labels. Yeah, this is the wrong place. So now buttons is disabled. Yeah, the same. Now the label. Label is something different. It has to call helper. Get translation. Language section. Okay, I didn't think about this, that it takes a lot more. It actually takes a section to look into. Oh, actually, that's fine. Name is the key I got. Key is everything. Can I do this to make it look, well, not to be, well, it's supposed to be like a line to make code readable. It should be like 80 characters. 80 characters is nonsense, in my opinion. Let's see, 80 characters. So this is like 120 characters. Yeah. So 120, like, so 80 would be, yeah, here. So up to here, you should, if your code extends beyond this line, you should figure out a way to make the actual line shorter. It's like a guideline. Like, so this is what this red bar is. And 80 it just seems unreasonable to me. Like, it seems like it came from the days where, like, the normal resolution was 800 by 600. Like, you had 3 by 4 monitors displays as standard. I guess if you're reading multiple files at once, like, you have open like a ton of files. But even in this case, let's see. So this red line is here. Well, I guess on full 1080p monitor, there's not enough space to have 2 files fully open side by side. But well, this is not actually a for. I'm 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 using just quarter of my desktop for streaming because this is a 4K display and I'm only working on 1080p square inside it. Like everything around it, like 3/4 of it, and I have an additional secondary monitor that's 1080p, so it's only 1/5 of my desktop real estate that's getting streamed. All the rest is taken by other stuff. So, and I usually don't have this window this small when I work. Well, I guess now this is the new norm. Maybe I should change this. If this is gonna be the norm. Whatever. It's not really important anyways. So it doesn't let me do this. Complains that it's not... Yeah. It's not proper way to do. I think I can do this. Or this. This doesn't look more readable to me. Like, I wish I could do this. This. Yeah, now it just complains. Yeah, well, this is a downside of Python. Well, people cite that scope definition by... Is it scope? Or is it namespace? These terms make me... Well, I guess they are necessary when if you want to communicate them, like now I'm trying to do. But yeah, the names are a little bit... I'm not used to using them. I'm used to reading them in the documents, but I'm not used to recalling them on the spot. But there's a name. So this is one namespace, and this is the other one. Well, namespace is basically where it's on the if it's on the same level. So if it's all starts at the same distance, so it has the same amount. So this is one scope, and here it's continuous, and there it goes again. And this scope is here only. Oh no, here and here, because this is beyond other scope that. Beyond this scope, so it doesn't translate, it doesn't hop over the ending of high. Well, okay, whatever. This is not necessary. Sections, section row, add button, set is disabled. All good. Oh yeah, key is actually needed. Translations. So I even provide... I don't need this. Why does the helper need all of this? Here, side by side. Like, it has access to the singleton. So, port like this. Port singleton. Now I can make sing. Oh no. Sing equals, not ding, sing equals singleton. Oh, damn it. Need to use from singleton import singleton. This. We get sing. So translation comes from singleton. Yeah, it is a dictionary. Language, yeah, I kinda get it. Name, also section. Yeah, that is true. So this is the one variable I can remove. Just because I have a singleton implemented properly, not just a magic dictionary floating around. Oh, actually, yeah, let's remove this and let's break some code. And well, here it would be pretty easy. Sing, not song, sing, labels. Labels, labels. Right. So this is fixed, but now everything that calls this, Control H I, Control Shift G. Editors must save. Okay, save them. Yeah, this is really cool. I love this function. So list bots calls it a couple of times. Okay. Oh, it's in the list bots manual, so it's not implemented. It's not gonna be called just yet. I guess I can fix it in advance, so it doesn't have to give messages. This one doesn't have to use this, even though it doesn't work either way. Helper, okay, this is the definition, and menu. Menu has quite a few places. Yes, in labels. And this, I guess this is one of the ways to make our lines a little bit shorter. Get rid of the parameters you don't actually need. So these have been changed. Oh, this is commented out. Okay, it's commented out, doesn't matter. Right, get translation. This is, yeah, I'm currently doing translations. That language itself, language, I'm pretty sure. Section is I think this is ID. Yeah, self ID. F ID, I mean. Okay, this is fixed. I don't like how I'm so scattered all over the place. Like, I should have done this right off the bat, and I mean, instead of I just started changing. Well, yeah, I guess it's a different way of structuring your work. Sometimes I do this, sometimes I just set it aside and, well, list myself as a task to do in the future, like data class that will be returned by this method. I probably name this implement user context data class, because that's what I actually need to do. Oh, I removed keyword. Okay, now it's actually a task. Alright, let's get back to the search. Get translation, labels. So yeah, labels is no longer needed. And here, get translation, labels. Right. Singleton used anywhere now? Oh yeah, it is used. Labels, it's not really used in a good way though. Oh, it's for the errors. I guess that's fine. Maybe all the translations should be done. In the helper class, for consistency's sake, we'll have a little bit less imports in that case. Okay, let's see how many times this singleton gets referenced here. If that's the only use case, then yeah. So it's used here for the errors. Self context, singleton labels. What does this call? Oh, so this is for user input. What is it? Oh, validation failure and validation method. Right. Yeah, I don't feel like this is a good way to implement it. So all of this. So this leaves out the only actually used, but it's actually being referenced. Voila. So let's define a method here. Get error translation. And what it takes, label name, say language. That's it, because the section is known. Actually, I can call this. Should I call this? Should extract the common functionality. So define get label from section. Right. Because the section is clear. Those cases, well, this if defines a different section. But I want to have a common method. Get translation, blah blah blah. So this was the main method. So the common thing is this. Okay, let's do that first. So it needs both name, language, and section. So it takes the same parameters, but what it does instead, it will return none. It doesn't find one. So it will either return the translation or returns none. Like this. So now instead of checking, I get the translation first. So alt translation is equal to get label from section, passes along all the parameters, and here I check should be just done. So yeah, this will not be necessary because this was done here. I just need to check if I actually need to do it for another section. So it would be if translation is none, I'll try something else. If translation is none, then I call the same method again, but this time instead of using the section, I use generic section, generic names as a section. And if it's still none. Names. If it's still none, then I return a strike through. So like this. In other cases, I just return the translation. So it works like this now. And okay, so this looks like it's doing the same thing, but in a slightly different way. But the benefit is that now I have getting label extracted, like this functionality is the same. Well, because I wanted to do it a little bit differently. Get translation. Let's rename this to Alt-Shift-R. Mark this as internal function. I guess it doesn't have a class, but whatever. I don't think it does anything in this case. It just indicates that it shouldn't be called directly. So the benefit is that I can do the same with this. Instead of section, I know that it is as generic Where is it? S menu errors. How does this work? Doesn't seem right. Oh, this is in the menu now. So it knows that, yeah, menu, the section needs to look into. I think this should be moved to globals. I think it makes more sense. So to generic names, generic classifier, because it's not gonna be used just here. Right, so the helper knows that it needs to be looking in errors. Then it has to check if it's none. It is the same code again. Not really all four, but this is same. So return strike through if it's none, otherwise return the translation that you got. I guess I can extract this checking if it's none. Yeah, this is a common functionality as well. Let's define. Is it worth it though? It's like, what, 6 lines of code as it is? I should, just in case I come back and decide this needs to change in some way. Hey. What should it be called? Check name? No. Validate? That's the same thing. That's the hardest part, coming up with the names that actually are useful and helpful. Because I want to call it at the very end. Final form. Final version. Translation, and I take the translation I have, and I take the name. So this becomes here. So translation is none, then return strike through name. Right. So all of this right becomes to return final translation, name translation, and same here. So the final check is, well, both of them are doing the same thing, so this is, well, this is how it should be done. According to best practices, you shouldn't have to write the code twice. Like, some people say if you write it twice, it's okay, but if you need to write it 3 times, then you have to seriously consider extracting it into a method. But you know, when it's easy to spot when it's 2 times, and yeah, I would rather do it now, and rather than later on try to figure out how many times this piece of code is actually here. So these are internal functions, not meant to be called from the outside. The helper. Connect to the database. It's also good. Well, at least I assume it's good. Hopefully it is. So now, what's the benefit of this? I get error translation. Where was my errors? Errors equals so this assigns the errors. Where do I check them? Here. Here I get the translation. Instead of this, errors is helper get error translation, and name will be, so this is not necessary, error, and language will be self language. All of this is not needed anymore. And all of this to make this obsolete. So to remove it from tile and remove the import. Actually used anywhere? Don't think it is. Classes don't appear to be used. Eric doesn't appear to be used anymore. Built-on shouldn't be used. Oh, it is used. Auger menu. Why does it have it? Why does this come from the singleton? I think it should be in the classifiers or loggers. Yeah. Find another classifier, class loggers. should be used instead of singleton. So let's move it. That's just not right. Yeah, well, singleton, here, logger, main logger. Yeah. Singleton logger, all of these should be here. Let's find them as strings. Oh yeah, what's singleton logger? You know what? Let's just name them what they will. Out logger main menu. Okay. So now, instead of using this, I have another classifier to import. Classifiers as loggers. I could rename all of these. Don't have s as a to indicate that this is a static class. Okay, whatever. Here singleton bot singleton classifiers. Oh, this is classes. So from classes, classifiers, import loggers. All of this becomes on main. What even its name main? Oh yeah, main logger. Don't remember how the configuration is saved for each of these. Oh, it's saved in a separate file. Okay. And menu. Yeah. Change this. And singleton. Singleton also had its own. Oh. So it iterates over them at some point. A logger name in loggers. Can I actually iterate over this? There's something like this, iterable. I'm just hoping this works. Logger, okay. Let's look at the documentation because I'm really curious. Well, curious if there's actually iterable class. Abstract iterable. collection. Don't really see any examples. Right. Iterable. Collections. This is okay. Something else. Abstract method. Bum, bum, bum. Okay. Okay, that's not what I want. Just should look at the documentation and here how to code sorting. Iterate over its variables. I'm sure there's a Python feature for this. I'm just not really sure how it's named. Let's take another look on iterable. Very concise. Class that provides iter method. Checking instance iterable detects class that are registered as iterable or that have. Look at the. Oh, this links it to itself. Okay, that's not all. Cool. Determine whether an object is iterable is to call iter. Does this get item? Self e. The key should be integers. So this explains how can I implement my own, but is there a way to get a default behavior? Key is often an appropriate type. Type may be raised. Okay. Maybe there's a way to get properties as a list. A class properties list. Is supported enumeration. Support for enumeration. Let's look at this. Set of symbolic names. Counting new constant values. Oh. Unique. Increases and replaces. So this is just for numbering. I could use a numeration in some cases, like for menu. Rotate values. Okay, if the exact value is unimportant, you may use auto increase and appropriate value will be chosen for you. Care must be taken if you mix auto with other values. So enum, I think. Yeah, this might be the thing I'm looking for. Automatic access. If you have a num number, in its name or value, color red. Oh, it assigns the whole member. So it slightly changes how you can actually access them. Automatic values. Generate next value. Duration. Yes, so this is the thing I'm for. So I think shape was defined somewhere. Take shape. So this is the duration. Or name member in shape, so it works like a dictionary. Members. Ooh. Special attribute members is read-only ordered mapping of names to members. So instead of accessing them directly, I would have to use this members. Okay, that's fine. It's cool. Yeah, so I guess I can work with that. That's not a big issue. Instead of this, it would be enum. So to fix this, I guess this is fine. And to actually get the string, because this will return like a pair, like a dictionary entry. Now when I call the thing this, yeah, so it returns this whole thing. Pretty sure. Well, so if I'm correct, this shouldn't work now. It shouldn't be able to initialize all the loggers. Correct pass. Yeah. Oh, it's not defined now. So okay. So it complains about this now. I use this. Load. Stations. Login configuration. Put it right here. What's it? Don't see a for loop. Here it is. So instead of this, it uses as name as loggers, so it's not imported yet from classes classifiers import loggers. Right, so as loggers, and since it's a singleton, I have members. Doesn't find members. Doesn't show me the special reduce repair. Generate next value. I'm sure it should have members. Did this wasn't this how it was defined? Shape members items. Name and member. Iterating over the name members of an enum does not provide alias. Okay, that's cool. Special attribute members is read-only ordered mapping of new members. All names define an enumeration, including the aliases. Oh, so members like this will have everything, the aliases. Guess I'll just use a list and see what happens. Yeah, so list loggers. So this okay, let's try doing this. I'm pretty sure this won't work, but so as loggers singleton. Guess we'll see if this works. It will be nice if it does. I'm pretty sure, like I'm 90% sure it won't work. A logger name must be a string, yeah. So singleton here, the reference and name. No value, that's what I want. I usually like this is the name. Okay, so now it should crash in a different spot. Yeah, in the menu now. Name. Last one would be in the here. Main. Okay. Oh, logger name, that's the item. Okay, so this is name. this. The same goes here. Key error singleton. Action. Or should I be using value? Let's see, what does it actually have as name? Value is the one I'm looking for. Value here, value singleton. Oh, it is value, not name. When did I decide to switch? Value. And then the singleton here, instead of name, it has value. Value, value. I have to do it wrong at least once. Now it all loads. Be working. So that's cool. Iterable is not needed. All I needed is enum numeration. It's something, yeah, that I want to iterate over. Well, I guess it works fine as an enum. Steam is especially dead today. Not even bots are showing their face. Kinda fine with that. Let's see. Right. Well, I guess it's better to do. Well, I guess that's why I'm working on generic features that will be used everywhere. Right. Let's move all of this. Make this a little bit more uniform, without gaps that are not actually needed there. So, getting back to what I was actually doing. Buttons, ID. So I did get the translations sorted. I think I did. Did I change it? Description, title. Get text options list. Also language, though I removed the list being thrown around internally for no reason. I have a singleton errors get error translation that's been changed as well. What about buttons? What's the state of this now? Pro buttons. Add button. Red one. Oh. I actually want to have different styles of buttons. So button disabled is a variable. It's a label this way. Oh, it actually shouldn't use general. Should it? Yeah, I guess it does. It will use the translation from the menus section. if it's there. Otherwise it will fall back to the default generic names. Right. I guess I'll be able to implement this without fallback, which is fine. Maybe it should work the same for errors. I can have a generic definition and I can have a menu specific definition as well. I guess when I can change that when I actually get there. Or no, and let's keep it like this. Okay, what is this? Oh, this is the search thing. Search. Okay, handle reactions. I don't think there's even anywhere. Just disappear it. Right, so now when I initiate menus, get start menu. Let's see. So now the thing, its name, sir, one dictionary, another. Give me a list of properties. Okay, like that. It's part of the context. Classes, context, custom buttons. Guess I'll need button styles as well, which maps the same way. Buttons, then a dictionary of button styles. Button styles. Because there are a couple of different styles for each button. Okay, so dictionary will be well, custom buttons will be a new dictionary that will have what? The let's start with cancel button. I guess it should be in generic, so cancel button as cancel. Do this for all languages right off the bat. I should have translation somewhere separately, like here. Spanish. Can't I drag you here? And Spanish, Portuguese, and Russian. Right. So all of them. Okay, language Spanish cancel. Cancel button in Spanish. Cancel is cancel and cancel. Might as well have Hindi as well, since it's there anyways. Why not? Why not have Hindi as well? It will be a new language. So this is what cancel is in Hindi. is crazy. I was looking for is actually Spanish, Portuguese. And cancel. Have it here, not translated. I don't even know what cancel is in Russian. So Spanish. S. Spanish. Same. It looks the same as Portuguese. Yeah, it is the same. And Russian. Okay. Well, if I read it by itself, yeah, I guess I know the meaning. Just can't recall it on the spot. Right. So cancel is actually translated in all languages. So all the menus that have it should have it. Button. I was doubting that this is actually the right spelling. Seems like it is though. Right. Cancel button. Bum, bum, ba-dum. Cancel button will be the key. And it will be button will be mapped to get start menu. So this will be. Do I want to have it in start menu? Ooh, a good question. Yes, for at first I will, then I will remove it. It's like it doesn't make sense to have cancel in the start menu. And then styles. Custom button styles will be also a dictionary which maps yeah, I don't like that I have these now. Menu fields. Menus themselves. Errors. I guess I need another one. Classifier for buttons. Class buttons. Buttons. And cancel button. String equal to this. Oh. This. Right. Buttons. I feel like there's a way to improve on this quite a bit, but because now I'm defining this cancel twice, like I have two variables that are always there, are connected, so I might as well extract them into a new thing, like an instance. So what if I have classes, menu items, menu item handlers, like these are the same. So there should be a way to define a class. Okay, it pretty much would be a data class. Let's see. User context. So these are good data classes, but I need some more simpler data classes. So yeah, class custom button and it's a data class which import as well classifiers. Import classifiers. There's some classes already. So it's like this: from port buttons. Yeah, so this will have a button label. Which will be of the type buttons. Sense. I guess it does. Button type. And then it will have style. The label would be defined as buttons. Have a values and button style. Style would be of Hikari button. Is it? If I do change the buttons around here, custom button. Button style. Okay, Hikari button style. Style. Right. So now when I have this union of these two things, I can just, instead of declaring two different properties, I define one that has instances of custom button. Okay. So like this. Which is a custom button with it actually needs a function that will be called to label and handler function. Can I define function type? I don't know. Oh, I guess I don't have to define it, do I? Be a tricky one. Let's see. Python function type. Right, type function in Python. This tuple is dictionary, okay. Should look into the built-in types. language reference. Oh, built-in. Look at types. It ran that many, so this is not it. Constants. Guess it should be here on types, but for function. Okay, so the letter function, built-in function. Okay, like it said. Specifies a function. Function called what? Oh, so it's all about tuples. A lot. I see a lot at the end. Here, functions. Function objects are defined by function definition. The only operation on a function object is to call it. Two flavors. The built-in function and user-defined function both support the same operation. Okay. Methods are functions that are called using the attribute notation. Ah. Yes, it's an object. Call it. Let's make it an object. Object. Hopefully this works. So first argument is as button, then it needs a style. So buttons will be a list in this case. Okay. Let's make a list and let's part of any dictionary. This is no longer needed. That. Button, cancel. Then Hikari. Button style. Secondary. Oh, secondary is the gray one. Success is green. Primary is blue. I guess cancel could be red. Then as an object it takes get start menu. Custom button comes from data classes, also from classes, part button. Okay. So it will have a new variable. Custom buttons will have this value. Right. Well, this is part of the context. Context is a list. Custom buttons is a list. Custom button styles is not needed anymore. Let's see if this works, then I can change the menu items to function the same way. Yeah, I guess all of this has to be changed now. Get custom buttons. Because it doesn't go through, well, it expects custom buttons to be a dictionary, and now it's a list. Don't really need to specify keys. And key is an instance, in this case, of the new class. Custom button. Custom button. What? Buttons is a list, yes. So it recognizes that, and why it's complaining about for each key. Guess it doesn't like the type definition here. Okay, whatever. You like that? I guess if it doesn't like the definition of the thing, it won't give me an autocomplete, which is a little bit annoying. So button style. Style will be defined here. Button style. So key button style places this. Add button second property is getting a little bit cramped. Some more space. Oh, it's action row thing. So it's style key. Key is the actual button table. Yes, that's what I'm looking for. Button table. Maybe it should be button ID. Button ID. That is disabled the same way. Translation, now it uses key button ID. Well, button ID. Helper, get translations. And handler was defined here. It will get called handle imp. So now the button has its own handler. Next, so let's run it and see where it crashes. Because I'm losing track at this point. Okay. One requires a custom button. Oh, menu context. So this is when I'm opening language. Have custom buttons. Wait, the start menu should have custom buttons. What happened to that? Oh, I didn't add custom buttons, are not added correctly at the moment. Are they? Put get buttons. Oh, it doesn't call custom buttons. And get custom button. Okay. Oh, this should crash now when I send the message. Yeah. On type. Something is not assigned somewhere. Rest, new bot, messages. Not here. So this get buttons, I guess. Not really sure what's going on here, so I guess I'll just the debug, get custom button. For each key, I add a button to the action row. Oh, it doesn't return anything. If contains buttons, for each button, does all of this and returns action row. Or else returns none. Return none. Guess none won't be, yeah, it will crash as well. So get custom button, this should check before appending. There are custom buttons, so if, well, I guess for now, just for testing purposes, I should do it right off the bat. I will forget about this. So custom will get custom buttons. So this actually gets assigned and it checks if it's not done. Then I append. So the turn components. Okay. Right. Try again. Oh. Works. Magic. So if I press cancel, it should return me to the Steam. Oh, option does not exist. Okay. Gives an error because it doesn't understand the input. Does the error get added? That's not what I expect. Does work. Have a generic way to define buttons and the functions that handle the button, which is cool. Handler and options. Wait, how does it actually handle? Oh, it doesn't understand, that's why it prints. It doesn't handle the actual button press. It just complains that it doesn't know. Right. So since this worked well enough, I guess. Should let me define its type here. Here. For key, type custom button. Yeah, I wish this worked like this. Like this is like this error doesn't make much sense. Will not run. The syntax error invalid syntax. Oh. Yeah, I see what's wrong. It doesn't like, it can't define its type because, yeah, it thinks that this is the... Can I do this? Let's fix it? No. So it expects semicolon to be at the very end of the for declaration. Well, to work around this, I can have button, but tools of type custom button assigned key. So now when I do this, I would get all the variables that are inside. Why doesn't it give me handler? What does handler? Style and ID. The button ID is not here. Button. Okay. Button replaced by but container. Okay. Well, I guess it has to be a long line in this case, just because of Hikari, how it's being used. So I have handler and I will have properties. That's a list. Handler. Parameters. List. Could be none. Okay, let's make it none by D. How should it how should I do this? Get menu items. Right. So I guess I can change this menu items and menu item handles. I can extract that into another data class as well. So add data class menu items. And it's part of the context. So it actually has to go, well, it will go inside this. Okay. It's fine. But what it has ID. Okay. It's a string. It has button, so label. Let's say key will be the number. Let's see, or the menu. Yes. Then key, I think, would be string. It will be the I will need to iterate over so I guess it could be it should be a dictionary. Custom buttons. List of custom buttons. That's fine. Menu ID. Responding. Voice. Handler. So it has to have a handler as well. Or object. Handler parameters as well. The list. Element, which is none by default. And I guess we already see that this is duplicating something. Can I have inheritance in data classes? We have a data class. Class. Define it with an underscore to indicate that it shouldn't be used outside. Package. Package. Module. Oh. Python terminology. Right. Handler. And not callable, but I wanna call it callable. So it would have these two properties will be extracted into callable, and this will inherit from callable. So these will be gone. These two will be gone as well. I wonder if this works. This is just my assumption that this is how it works. I messed something up. Eric. Wrong with generic. Type a non-default argument button ID follows default argument. What? Plus data class. Oh, is it here? So it's not how it works. Okay, let's look in data classes. Pretty sure that's documented how to do this. The classes. Data class. The class. Init true. If true, method will be generated. If class already defines in it, this parameter is ignored. See if it actually shows an example of inheritance. Init, post in it. There isn't a built-in way, but it just allows you to hit a class, it false. Special method. Right. Wait, what's the actual error? Non-default argument, button ID, followed by default argument, follows default argument. Oh, so these should be at the end? So this? So is it complaining about that? Like it is. Ah. Well, guess if the price that I have to pay for this is to define none each time I create a callable, well, a custom button or a menu item. I guess I'm fine with that. So, right. So menu item is now, yeah, so first it takes handler and handler parameters. So these are the first parameters. Name them. Items, no longer a dictionary. Yes, it still is a dictionary. Context. Class fires. The class menu context. Yeah, menu context. Items. I guess it will be a list now. What's different between buttons? Oh, it's a different thing. It's just a string. Key is a string, and here it has a style. Right, so yeah, okay, those are different things completely. Can't really extract anything else. How should I do this? Menu items. Should I keep it as a dictionary? I guess the list is a simpler structure. However, that helps me in any way. Because if I keep it a dictionary, I don't actually need key in the menu item. It just has an ID. Which is sort of like button ID. Except button has a style on top of it. doesn't have a key. Well, it doesn't need one. Still has ID. So yeah, it comes from buttons. So it's an classifier. Actually a string. I should define it as string, same as here. Yeah, so many choices. I guess I'll just keep it like this for now. And menu item. Kinda want them both to be so similar that I can handle them both in the same way when it comes to handling button. An input or a button press. So I would get handler. Will I be able to sort them out though, if it's not a dictionary anymore? Yeah, I guess it has to be a dictionary after all. Otherwise I just need to go through the list. So ID is not actually needed. Oh no, the menu ID is a different thing. Custom button ID is same as key, the menu. Performs the same function. Also a string. So from the look of it, I can actually do this. Or actually this. Everything to the menu item, and button inherits from menu item. So handler and all of these follow-ups, and the button style is at the very end in this case. This doesn't inherit from anything. Yeah. Yeah, so for handling it won't be important that it has a style. And you choose number of the menu, so key is the thing that we... So we have a dictionary of menu items. So that's the goal. So I have a dictionary. Actually, buttons are not a dictionary, because it doesn't actually use that. But how will I know which button? Guess the dictionary entry will be the same as ID. So it will be start menu, danger, cancel. So this will be the ID. Doesn't actually need an ID inside the button. The button doesn't need an ID. Won't get used. Yeah, I guess I need data class after all. I mean callable. The class callable. Also, this will inherit from it. Inherit this. Because after all, handler will be defined first. This adds button style and this adds ID. Even need this. Oh, so menu choice. So this ID is this new bot, so on. So I need to define a handler first, then handler's parameters. Okay. I think this is. So now menu item ported. So from classes, port menu item, item. So first will be the handler, so new bot menu. So this, then it takes a list of parameters, which is none. Then spell it not. Menu, and then it takes the ID. That's it. So this whole handler thing is no longer needed. This handler is now part of the menu item. Right. This. Done. Here it's same-ish. Language open. User language. Then on. Then language menu. That's it. This is no longer here, no longer needed. And then I declare custom buttons. Right. This should work. A little bit simpler. Well, I don't do things twice, which is the guiding principle. That's one of the best practices. But it takes a little bit of work, I guess. Okay. So now we actually need to handle this. Now it changes all the places where it gets used. Let's see, menu items. Let's see, context is used. Okay, context. Menu items. I don't longer have keys. Menu items. Oh yeah, I have keys. So for each key, I get add a button. Add button. This part will work. Yeah. So this will work identically. Which is cool, I guess. Context, custom buttons. So this will not work. So self context buttons. So this is a dictionary. Well, an optional dictionary at this point. Could be just none. Well, it will be none eventually. Okay, so it checks if it exists. If it exists, custom buttons, which is a custom button class, which has button style, but the button ID is actually the key now. No. Context, custom buttons, yeah, that's a dictionary. Buttons is a dictionary. So I need to iterate over as it's a dictionary. So items. So it's done. Then we have keys. Yeah, I guess let's leave it as key and item. And item is actually but, and the key is enabled. ID anywhere else. Translation depends. And but is used for the style, which is correct. Doesn't really need anything else. Okay. Continue looking at the context. Handle input. Yeah, this is gonna be the major difference. Options list as well. Language. Yeah, these need to be updated. So let's take a look. Context, menu items. The dictionary still different type of dictionary that has the text. Others don't really need, just need the items. Okay, let's just go like I did items. I get key and item. Like this. Oh, this is wrong. Okay. Has brackets here. Necessary. So if text is one of the selected ones. Okay, so context menu. item variables, it's no longer there, it's part of menu items. Okay, so item, type item, here is text menu items e text. So this is now the actual item. So if it has variables, if item dot handler parameters is not none, and I don't really need all of this checking. It's not none, that will be enough. So if it has any parameters, then call call the handler. So I'm not using as many dictionaries. So the user and parameters. Otherwise, handler. Otherwise, just call handler. Yeah, this got simplified quite a bit. It's nice. Errors. Doesn't patch anything. Okay, let's take a look at context. Further on, options title, options list. So this will be different as well. Menu items, menu item ID. So key is key and menu item is not ID, it's a full-on menu item. Guess it won't let me define its type here as well, yeah. Call it I, menu item, item equal of type menu item. I. So we know the type. Item, so maybe this should be the title, label. Label will be this, get translation, in list. Oh, so this is just a string. Okay, menu item ID. So item ID. What I'm looking for. Yeah, so key even used anywhere. Well, I guess we'll see if it actually needs to be used. Oh yeah, key will be used because it's part of the options list. All the key will stay here, and here instead of text we have label. If context menu item labels. Oh, so it has labels. It could have labels. Okay. Fields maybe would be a better name. ID and labels. Fields probably is a better option. Fields would be list. I think that's why I have this. What actually? I guess I removed it from the menu context. It's not part of menu items. List, that's by default none. Yeah, this I can define as none. Work fine. Well, hopefully it does. options list. So now I should check if fields is a thing. Item has fields. None. Then what if it's none? Oh, it will add. Okay, so this list of fields. Yeah, so I use that list, explode that list into values for format. Okay. So item fields. Okay, this got a little bit simpler. Right. So it format uses the fields to format the names. This is. I thought yesterday's stream was complicated. I guess the deeper you go, the more complicated it gets. And maybe it's done. Okay, I should check for context in the language. Yeah, so menu items. So it's key and menu item, which is no longer like this. Text options. So how does it actually? I guess this changes how. So yeah, the language menu now has to be changed slightly. So it's not a bunch of dictionaries anymore. It's a dictionary of items. Context language selection menu. Wait, so this is the same. Context is what changes. So how I make context? Menu context, okay. So menu items is not just languages. Menu items is now let's have this as an example just to make it faster. Menu items and custom buttons as well. Actually has the same. Okay, let's just do the same thing. Oh, let's just copy everything. I would have something to reference. Because I'm still... can't really say that it is in my memory how I'm supposed to use this just yet. Right. So context menu. For classes I need to import menu item or one. Okay. So menu item takes the menu ID. Menu ID is now changed. Well, it will be used a little bit different, so it's a language in this case. Languages. Well, I already used translated language, so might as well. Labels, I guess this is it. really like this. I don't like that I'm handling doing translations here. Like a bad idea. Yeah. Let's have language here. This is not... So it will be language, new bot menu. Oh, so all of these have the same handler. Oh no, this will have... So it defines menu items and handlers is... It user language. I guess it's all the same, yeah. Language. Lost already. Items. So handler goes first. So this actually goes first. Then parameters. Item variables. Oh, so it actually has some parameters, so it's not none. It's well, yeah, since I created dynamically, item. This. Oh, I said these are dictionaries. Used to be dictionaries. Well, it still is a dictionary, sort of. Oh, so languages is the thing I'm creating. So this is a constructor now. Send this a little bit. So I'll comment this out. Some buttons. So yeah, this will be like this. So languages. Menu items. So this should be initiating menu items. Yeah. So this will be menu item. But the actual values will be names, it user language, yeah, user language, then parameters, language selection, language. Language. Selected will be the parameter that goes into the handler, which is this. Then label item. So then it has its ID or label. I don't really like that it I don't need the parameters. I have. Oh, this is a tough one. And then the fields. Fields are by default none. Names language. fine. Then menu items is languages. It has only one dictionary now. And this is no longer a thing. Custom buttons now is the thing. Custom button is a cancel button. So it stays the same. Custom button, buttons, classifiers, custom button. It's from classes, right? Yeah, from classes. Carry, style. This is from menu. Maybe not like this. Let's just use menu. Get start menu. Differently. This. A menu item handler. Start menu. Get start menu. It turns get start menu the user. So missing one required menu item handlers. Handlers. Oh, it's another dictionary. Oh yeah, so this will be this one is removed. So it only needs custom menu items and custom buttons. Okay. Okay. Serialization fails. That's new. Row components get button. Okay. Oh, object of type function. So get buttons or show which one of them has a function inside. What about this one? Oh, so this didn't even hit. Okay. Handle user message. I think this is the one. Current menu. Current menu gets start menu. I'm sending current menu. Oh, I'm not sending it. What? Yeah, so it turns. So handle user message. I imagine this. doesn't return what you would expect. Get start menu. Returns get start menu. And context. Show. Something gets messed up. Okay. So let's run it in debug. See what actually goes on. Let's step into this. I think it's 5. 5. Let's go to the start menu. Okay. Current menu. Okay, so menu defined. I think is good. And show. Let's step into show. So message text. Start menu. Hello. Good. Options list. Okay, so this all works as expected. Get buttons gets called next. This must be the one that trips it up. Get menu item buttons. Step into this. Okay, so this is what messes up. Which spot though? Add row, so this is all fine. This is an action row. Menu item keys. Okay, so key will be 1 in this case. Thought I didn't need to change anything. Action row. Okay, so add button. Arrow button style. Add key. So this is all fine. Don't see where it gets assigned a function. There's action row. It has action row builder, components, interacting button builder, style. Is all good. Key. Well, this is the dictionary key. Goes through menu items. I think it calls get custom button. I think this is what causes the issue. So it's action row. If okay, it creates an action row. Custom buttons is not none. Yeah. So I get the button item. See. Key is cancel button. An item. The actual button. Okay. I guess I make the mistake referencing but. I reference being used, but button style. The key. That is the table. Label. Helper, get translation, key. language and ID for this menu and add to container. What? Okay. Custom. Custom is not none. Position append custom. Right. Applies. What? So how does it get this? Type error. Yeah, this is odd. I imagine it has to be something with custom buttons. Let's ignore this for now. See if it works without custom buttons. I'm pretty sure the custom buttons is what trips it up, not the new definition of menu items. Yeah. So something off with custom buttons. So stop it. Stop it. Damn it, this is a pickle. Where is it? Here. So how does this mess up? Okay. It returns action row. Action row is created properly, that's all good. Action row gets added a button, but button style. Button style is one of Hikari button styles. Oh, maybe I should check this actual. How do I initiate it? Button cancel. Why does it have a type? This is the issue. Oh no, actually, no, that's not an issue. Just have the same thing a couple of times. So it creates a custom button. Custom button. Oh, it has to have. Okay, these are in wrong order. Okay. Okay. I'm. Oh, I think I'm finally will be done with this. This is a complicated thing. Well, at least I learned quite a few things. So first of all, it has to have a handler, then it has handler parameters, which will be none, and then in the end, it has the style. So Hikari button danger, so it will be red. I think that's the correct way. So that was the issue. The dictionary was not properly done. Yeah, I think that's fine. Okay, let's try it. This point I can only hope. Hey, it worked. Let's go to language, and it crashes. I guess I didn't. Okay, item to string. What menu? Context options. So menu item. Item in this is an instance. So item of type item. Menu item. So item handler ID. I think this is no fields. I'm right. Appreciate it. And this is way too complicated to follow. I'm barely following this. Item update user language tables. So I get so what's the third one? ID? Yeah, ID. So I need to okay, so the ID actually gets assigned the translation. So item ID font. Yeah. Should I check if anything was running again? I'm not sure if I okay. How many times does it say I have login? 990 times, so fine. So language. Still so is the button initialization wrong there again as well, yeah. Pretty much the same as in menu, so just copy paste it. There's a same custom cancel button. Well, I'm using it twice, so it means I need a classifier. Well, I guess it will be because I don't like this is not how you should do this. So buttons, get start menu, so menu, not get start menu, danger, and so on. I guess that this is fine. It's just all cancel buttons do the same thing. Well, it doesn't. They don't have to do the same thing. Okay, whatever. Cancel this. Run it again. Cancel will. So this doesn't get properly handled. Okay. Need to fix that. Handle. The buttons show handle input. So now when it checks. Handle input is text, but this time it's not text. When I press a button, text will be the ID. Menu item keys, right. So if it's one of the menu items, that's good. Okay, if not, I need to check buttons, else if text in self context menu custom buttons is a dictionary, right? And the ID is translation is the menu items ID. Buttons ID is actually the key. It's untranslated. Self custom button doesn't matter. Yeah. Test custom button. Next. Then button of type custom button. I get the custom button from here. Self context, custom buttons, text. It's very similar to this. Instead of menu item, I have a custom button. And very similar to custom button, I have to check if... Oh, looks like this will be an extraction functionality. As it just calls the handler on the item, and both are callable, so handler comes from this, and it's just okay. Whatever. Define call handler, and it takes one parameter of type callable item, type callable. Classes in it, right? Yes, it doesn't have to be. Okay, let's rename this since I will actually be using outside. Call it callable. I think it will interfere. Well, whatever. Pretty sure there are other internal callable objects in Python standard library called callable. I would be surprised if there isn't. And this will take this part of the logic and just call whatever is needed. Item variables. So handler, and I pass parameters is callable handler parameters. What happened to the star? Star this. So this gets exploded. I guess I didn't really use these just yet, so I didn't get to this point. Right. So if the text is one of the options, then I call handler on that item. Call handler self, call handler item. If text one of the custom buttons, I get the button and do the same call time with the button. Done. Longer needed. Do I need to return them? I don't remember. I think I actually need to return them. So this return context menu handler. So yeah, I need to return these. Return. So it checks else if text in elif, I think, is the context in the buttons. So it's in menu item, get the menu item and call handler on that. If it's text, get text. If it's in buttons, get the button and call handler on that. Okay. And if it's either, it doesn't gets caught by any of these, it will add an error that option is invalid. Right. Easy. Couldn't be easier. This was a workout. So yeah, now I get to the start menu, as I expect. This is cool. Love it. So cancel here. Okay, time to remove the cancel button from the start menu, because yeah, start menu shouldn't have cancel button. There isn't much to cancel. Cancel custom buttons would be none other than none. Nani? Nani? Done with this, and I... 20 minutes over of what I expected it's to take. But yeah, this doesn't have cancel button. This menu has. Get back. Hey, finally. Oof, this was a journey. Wow. Damn. Damn, this is getting way more complicated than I wanted. I kind of expected this to be viewable by anyone, but yeah, this is... I doubt anyone could follow this. I could barely follow this. Okay, this is... Tomorrow will be nicer, I think. Well, not tomorrow. This evening. I will just create the GitHub. Explore GitHub, I guess. Before I delve into implementing each of the menu now. But yeah. I'm so happy this is done. I knew this will be a bit of a headache. Like, this is the toughest choice. I'm still not sure if this is a good way to do this. But I like it. I actually like it. If I wanna do it like this, it lets me do stuff like that, which is kinda cool. So, start menu will have weird options. Yeah, 763. It's funny. Create new bot languages. And I guess well, it doesn't work because it's not implemented. I'm just okay, I'm just glad this is over. This wasn't a fun stream at all. But it will get easier from here on, from here now on, this will get easier. That's the way you say it. That's the way it makes sense. So Hindi, let's just add Hindi as a officially supported language. Just because. Since gaming is now illegal in China, I guess I don't really need to worry about Mandarin. This bot's menu is not working now, but I don't really care. Did I change anything there? Yes, I did. Change the lines. Menu. Yeah, the constants have been removed. Let's just do this so I wouldn't get annoying errors. Right. English too, just for illustrative purposes so far. Right. And done. Yeah, that was a lot of code. A lot of refactoring, lots of changes, restructuring. Started inheritance with data classes, which is fine. That's what inheritance is for shared functionality. I simplified quite a lot of menu functions, which is cool. Which I'm really happy about. It's a little bit annoying having such long strings, but okay, I don't really care about the aesthetics of the code. I like care more about the let's say practical practical things in code. Yeah, form. I'm function goes first. Function over form. That's my like I never go form over function. And this might look like it. I'm going form over function, but it's actually very useful to have them defined like this, like in a hierarchy, because then I can have an instance of an object. I can make sure that they have these fields, handler and handler parameters. Yeah. So this is a generic object. Okay, so this is the function handling messages interaction. Action. Starting to use well, I guess that's why they are called interactions. Nice. Add this to the index. So these are basically data classes. It's fine. Okay. Okay, now I can actually commit. Custom button station. Actually, I didn't test one thing. If actually language selection works, because that uses that custom functionality. Okay, let's do that first. Just to make sure that language actually gets changed. Should update the names as well. Russian. Ah, it doesn't work actually. I give an extra. Okay. Takes 2 position arguments and 3 were given. So this is the code that failed. Call handler and handler parameters. Why does it have 2? I believe I only assign 1. Language. Language error. No. Okay, well, I guess let's check what actually gets called here. That doesn't make much sense. Us. File. Right. We'll trip on everything. Select language. Here. See. Handler. Item. Handler parameters. String Russian. See. won't let me step into it. Pressing F5 but doesn't step into the method itself. Takes 2 but 3 were given. I don't know how it counts to 3. Handler parameters. The list. Do I need to do this? You have to be double stars? I don't remember the nuances between those. Okay, let's call handler on message. Disable this. Bug again. Free and Russian. Okay. What? It's a string? What? How's it a string? Something is not right. Oh. Dumb. That's extra stupid. It has to be an array of stuff. A list. Yeah, I guess a type checker of some sort would help me in this case. Oh, where is it? Undo this funny thing I did. Then oh, I did so many changes today. Handle input. Look at the outline, handle input. This is only 1 star because it's actually a list now. Now it should work. Language, then we select Russian. Okay, it gets translated. English, oh, it's Spanish. Spanish doesn't have translations. Again. Back to English. Hey. Okay, now it works. Actually tested, well, checked if it works. Testing, oh, that's something I still need to implement, because there is no testing. Right, as debug. Yes, I can do it. Okay. Custom button implementation. Other simplifications. Encapsulations. That's ever good enough. And yeah, it's half an hour. It's past lunchtime already. So if all goes well, this evening I will be doing the GitHub thing. So it will be a completely different stream, different style. Damn, the project is getting big. There's a bunch of classes here, a bunch of classes here. Which one of them is iterable? think the classifier one of them is income. Guess I could extract them into a separate subclass. Well, not to keep them with other like static classes. I guess next time when I will be implementing user context, I think that could be a good time to do that. Probably. Okay. Yeah, I'm done for now. It was a huge success. Not viewership wise, but yeah, I kind of understand it's not really interesting to watch someone elbow deep into some magic. But I'm happy with the result. Really happy. It's getting to a point where no one else would be. Well, if you're not. Yeah, I guess it could be a good series to showcase how do you get from spaghetti. Spaghetti. Have it open, or doesn't like it. Open the spaghetti. Less spaghetti. How you get from this spaghetti, to an actual application that utilizes classes, data classes, inheritance, classifiers, enumerations, singletons, what else? I'm not sure. Many things, many good practices. Proper encapsulation and separation of concerns and so on. Well, not everything is done to to full conformity, but it's good enough. Buttons done. So it returns the menu, start menu, filters and context. Okay. So buttons are part of menu context. Yeah. It's good. I guess some of the sometimes you won't have any menu items. Yeah, I guess that's why I had this. You know what? Let's just indicate that this is not actually reviewed or implemented properly. Let's have that commented out. So yeah, only language menu has some additional functionality, which has to do with translations. Here's what it is. A language menu, that's why language menu looks the same in all languages. Doesn't matter which language you're currently using. Well, the title will be different, but the actual menu items will not. So if you like squiggly lines, you can go and pick a menu option to have squiggly lines. I guess, yeah. Well, the only way to undo it is either... Well, you can look at the history and see what menu, which button you pressed in which menu, because in all languages they are the same. And you can undo your squiggly line choice. Hindi. Okay. Right. And I'm finally done. For real now.